People have asked a number of times if the challenges that others face are same across board, and I tell people always that we might all be in the same fight, but we'll be facing different challenges. Picture it this way: you get into a mob fight, everybody's fighting. So on the outside, we say they are fighting, but inside, someone might be receiving knocks, someone might be receiving slaps, someone might be receiving kicks. But from the outside, it looks like everybody's fighting. We're all fighting different things. So on different times, different days, you might have different fights. But today, I want to talk about something that I think we all face in life. And in this video, I'll be sharing my thoughts on what we can do about this very challenge. So that for me would be the basics for which we can say we have a commonality, right? Welcome once again. My name is Jerry Halm, and as always, fruitfulness is what I bring to you. And I think it all starts from having a good knowledge of what it is that you want to achieve in this life. And when you have that knowledge, it leads to you becoming the fruitful person. And then out of your being fruitful comes fruitful acts, and you then receive fruitful gifts. Today, I want to share a thought. It's a very short thing I want to talk about. And I think we all face the same challenge. It's one common thing we all face. As you grow up and you raise a family, what do you leave for your family? What legacy, the day you give birth, whether it's 1 day old or not, it changes everything about you. Why? Because at that very instant, you realize that there is somebody whose life literally, right, will be dependent on you. So you'll be looking at, how do I raise a family? How do I, and I always tell people, start with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. It helps. When you start with the end in mind, you are better able to plan what you want to see at that end. So it's like a back from the future kind of planning. So today I want to share 7 things that I personally, and I use the word personally strongly because it is a personal thing. And what am I trying to do? I'm trying to encourage you to also do your personal list. And then in the comment section, also you can reach out to me, and then we'll have a good discussion about why your list is different from mine. Because I've told you, we can all be in the same fight, but we'll be receiving different blows, right? Not different blows, but different, the different punches in there and all that. It could be the same fight. We're all in this thing called life, but we have different challenges. So that is what I want to share with you today. And I'm sharing it in the order of importance for me. You tell me what your order of importance is. I think the very first thing you need to leave to your children is a good accommodation. In my part of the world, if you don't, your children would struggle a lot because they would have to find their own accommodation. And the worst part is, if you don't, because you yourself don't have, chances are that a time will come when your children are struggling to get a place to lay their heads, while also struggling to help you also get a place to lay your head. So for me, accommodation is key. I don't know where you are. You could be in a country where your systems are so good that real estate is not a challenge. People, maybe immediately you get to a certain age, there is this real estate. I don't know, houses are there for you. In my part of the world, aka Africa, i.e. Africa, that is, give your children an accommodation. That for me is the first thing. But when I say it's the first thing, I mean it's the lowest rank of the things that I'm talking about in order of importance. So accommodation becomes the first rank of my pyramid. So it's going to be a pyramid. And at the base, I'm going to put accommodation. I'm going for 7. So I'm going to put accommodation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Accommodation. Somebody say, oh, this is a hierarchy of, no, this is not Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is just Jerry Halm's hierarchy of things you should leave your children. Accommodation is at the base. I know for some, accommodation is not at the base, something else. So you tell me yours. After accommodation, if you can't leave them on accommodation, the next best thing you should leave them there for is an income. It's an income. What do I mean by an income? If you left them a business and the business is paying them an income, then they can use the income to build. So an income is the next one. Start a business, leave it for them. Start a business, bring them in before you even leave. That's even better. Bring them in and let them work in it with you. That's even better. But make sure income is sorted out. They will use the income to get themselves a place so that the generation after them would already sort out accommodation. All this thing is doing is to ensure that the generations that come after don't go through the same thing. The worst thing you can do for your children is not to fight your fights, but to live your fights so that when they come and they are fighting their own fight, they'll also be fighting yours. You have doubled laden fight on them. But if you fought your fight, they'll come fight their fight. And then they might even then fight their children's fight. So generations become better. But if you don't fight and your children then come to fight your fight for you. So income follows after accommodation. The next good thing you can leave them, if you can't leave them an accommodation and an income, is to leave them an education. Is to leave them an education. And I'm going to say, and when I say education, I'm talking of the education you are also talking about. Take them to school. Let them go to school. Let them acquire knowledge and all that. Because in school, their minds get open. And then an education, a good education can get them a good job, get them a good income, and then they can get themselves a good accommodation. Right? So education is key. But on top of education, I put training. I put training. Because education and training are not necessarily the same thing. There are people who don't have formal education, but because they have training in how to make money, they employ those with education. To training. Training. So if you can't give them an education, give them a training. Maybe you don't have money. You know what? You can do two things. Because you can't take them. But if you have money, you're able to take them to school. But if you don't have money, go give them to someone who knows how to make money. I think that's something you should be able to do. Unfortunately, in Africa, apprenticeship is dying. Everybody wants to go to school and wear suits. But if everybody understood this, there are some people who have no business being in a classroom. Training, apprenticeship. Give them to some welder and let the welder teach them how to do welding. Pretty soon they are doing all the chairs in the area, they are doing all the gates, and they have money. Yes, they didn't go to school, but they have more money than you. Send them to somebody who knows how to make money. That's the best thing you can do for them if you can't take them to school. So if you can't give them a good education, give them a good training. So first of all, a good accommodation, a good income, a good education, a good training. Very, very important. Somebody say, what is next? If you can't give them a good training, leave them with a good network. A good network. Do you know there are people in this country who have no good education, no better training to help them make money, but they are still making it? Why? Because they belong to a good family. There's a network that was left for them. There's a network. And the network is sad that they will be sorted out. If they go somewhere, they will be sorted out. Right? So, if you don't give them a good training, give them a good network. You create the network. You create the network for them. You know who did that? David and Solomon. Have you realized that David's mighty men also served Solomon? Because there was a time where he was even warning them about some. This guy is this guy is that, this guy I'm leaving, this guy watch him, this guy, yes. He left him with a good network. When you do that, you start the next generation on a better footing than you had. So, training, If you can't give them good training, give them to someone who can give them good training, a good network. Leave them with a good network. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 2 more to go. What's the next one? A good name. Leave them a good name. In the hierarchy of my whatever you want to leave them a good name. Your child goes somewhere and mentions his name, and somebody say, "Are you related to?" "Oh yeah." "Oh wow." And I can help you. Can help you. Daniel Lappin tells a story about his car, and I love to share that. It's a beautiful story where he says he bought a car with all his money when he was a teenager. He saved it and bought a car, and a week later, the car was making some terrible noise. So he went to his dad, and his dad said, "Oh, there's a mechanic you can go see down the place." And then he drives to the place, introduced himself. "My name is Daniel Lappin. My dad is so and so." And he said, "I should come see you." And he said, "Okay, what's the problem?" He said, "The car has a problem. There's a sound in it." This engineer opens it up, checks inside, and he tells a funny story about the man comes out from under the hood with a whistle. And he said that was scary, man, because that's all the money he had on him. He didn't have enough money, so he said if the car was messed up, he was in big trouble. The man said, "Okay, let me take it into the whatever garage and let me check on it." Comes back later after about an hour, the car is repaired. Car repaired. So he's expecting the man to charge, and the man said, "Oh, off you go, no fee, no charge." So he said when he was about to drive away, or as he started driving away, it occurred to him that, "Oh, the man thought the car is my dad's one. So he's doing it for my dad for free." He felt guilty. So he reversed and went back. And the man said, "Well, what's the problem again?" He said, "You said I should go for free, but the car is not my dad's one, it's my personal car." And he said, "Yeah, I know. Still go for free." And he said, "But I haven't done anything for you, so why have you?" He said, a long time ago or so, your dad did something for me that I can never repay. So helping you is me helping him." That's a good name. The dad's name had opened doors for him. There are places that if you went and mentioned your name, doors will open for you. Doors will open for you. I'm telling you, doors will open for you just because of your name. So if you can't leave them a good network, leave them a good name. But if you can't leave them a good name, leave them a good God. That's the last thing. Because with a good God, guess whose name they will now have? His name. Oh, his name is, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and they are saved. The good God will then give them a good network. The good God is giving us his word, and in that word, they'll get a good training. There's no better education than the one that the Holy Spirit gives. And if you follow the words of the good God, your income is sorted out. And if you follow the words of the good God, you will sleep in houses you didn't even build. He said. So that is it. Accommodation, income, education, training, network name, a good God. That is my 7. I don't know about you. Can you also create yours? Share it, and then let's find out what yours is like. I would love to listen to yours. I would love to. So if you've enjoyed this video, as always, you can click on the next one. There's so much that will be giving you here on Fruitful with Jerry Halm. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, share. You can like and subscribe. But as always, comment. And in your comment, give me your own list. Let's have this discussion. I'm really, really interested in it. As always, this is Fruitful. And what do we say? We've given you the seeds of knowledge. It's been sown. You got to fertilize them with more understanding. Go prune them with more skills. and water them with wisdom, and then and only then would you be fruitful. So be fruitful